This week on General Hospital, Mayor Collins has to defend her actions. Plus, why has Portia seemingly changed her mind? Portia tells Kai that she can't, in good faith, recommend the surgery he wishes to get. This would be the surgery Drew promised to pay for, which could give Kai a chance to play football again. Wait a minute. Last week, she told Curtis it was a good option. What's changed? Portia's opinion be damned, as Kai tells Trina that he's going to have the surgery. We're guessing it's going to have complications should he get it. At a public meeting, Laura is in the hot seat as Ezra challenges her. Your allegiance should be to the people of Port Charles and not the local crime boss. Previously, Laura and Jordan planned to use a public forum to fake a split between them over Laura's friendship with Sonny, so that Laura could fire Jordan, who would then take a job working undercover with Sidwell. But will this blow up in Laura's face as Jordan feared it could? Finally, Sonny, with Diane present, meets Diane and Alexa's new prospective partner, Marco. He exclaims, "Jen Sidwell, that's your father, right?" Diane looks stunned. Offer rescinded? Read the General Hospital spoilers to discover what Lucas finds himself in the middle of, and find out who is celebrating a birthday, which usually has a 50-50 chance of leading to drama. Hey, it's a soap. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Messy Syrup. It's me, Abby, here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. General Hospital spoilers note that the soap just dropped its weekly preview, and fans are buzzing about what's set to go down over the next 5 days in the land of Port Charles. GA's preview for the week of April 14 to 18 wrapped up with an interesting scene between Sonny Corinthos, Diane Miller, and Marco Rio. Diane's stunned face said it all after Sonny looked directly at Marco and declared, "Jen Sidwell, that's your father, right?" Marco was outed and didn't look too pleased about it. So what does this all mean? Rewinding a bit, Sonny had a major confrontation with Natalia Ramirez last week when he realized she was somehow connected to Jen Sidwell. While Jason Morgan believes that Sidwell had nothing to do with Sonny's penthouse explosion, Sonny isn't so convinced. Sonny grilled Natalia after he saw her with Sidwell, forcing her to spill the beans on the nature of her relationship with the man. Sonny hates it when he can't trust people in his circle, so even though she confessed to being Sidwell's ex-wife, she and the mob boss parted ways. During the discussion, Natalia tried to reason with Sonny, noting she wasn't close to Sidwell. The two had a quickie marriage, and the only good thing to come of their romance was Marco. As Sonny had seen Natalia with Marco earlier on, it's easy to see why and how he'll make the connection in the days to come. Natalia had noted during her and Marco's lunch date that she was saddened to hear that her son was wasting his talent as a lawyer. While most moms dream of their children getting into a lucrative career in law, Natalia believes Marco is better suited in the entertainment industry. She also implied that Sidwell pushed Marco to become a lawyer to help him in his shady business. This adds an interesting layer to Marco and his reasons for being in Port Charles. Was it just a coincidence that he arrived on the scene shortly after his dad? Was it by chance that he also landed in Lucas Jones's orbit when he did? The fact that he applied for a job at Diane and Alexis Davis's law firm? Or has Sidwell planted him in these situations for a reason? While Sonny may believe Marco sought out Diane's firm because of him, could it be because of Alexis? After all, it wasn't too long ago that Sidwell summoned Alexis to Windermere to show her the Cassadine dagger and ensure her fingerprints were all over it. While fans are unsure of the reason behind this, or what exactly he has in store, it is clear that Sidwell has a terrible plan for the lawyer. But what's Marco's role in it all? He could be at the firm to watch over Alexis's dealings, or to plant evidence to make her look guilty of a crime. Then again, he could be at the firm to gather intel on Sonny. With that said, how does Lucas play in all of this? Romancing Lucas could be a coincidence, or it could be premeditated. After all, Lucas is somewhat in Sonny's orbit, connected through Carly Spencer, but he is also linked to Alexis through his dad, Julian Jerome, and sister, Sam McCall. General Hospital spoilers imply that regardless of who they are targeting, both Sidwell and his son are up to no good. Marco seems like a nice guy, so there could be a good reason why he's helping his father carry out this sinister scheme. As such, fans will have to stay tuned to see how this storyline unfolds. Doctors have long known about the link between mental and physical health. It's something that General Hospital's Maurice Benard talks about quite a bit, both in his own life and as he chats with guests on his blog, State of Mind. When Drew Garrett, who played Sonny's son Michael before Chad Duell stepped in, caught up with Benard on State of Mind, he opened up about his health battle after leaving General Hospital and how it shattered him physically and mentally. "My mental state is pretty level," Garrett began, "but I've had physical health challenges that have put my mental state in a place of deep reflection and sensitivity, and emotionally unbalanced for sure." That challenge came from eczema. It's an autoimmune disease that can develop into something far more crippling than people might realize. He developed eczema as a kid and was given topical steroids. Think the hydrocortisone that you can pick up at the pharmacy, but stronger. This is the kind you can only get with prescriptions. Eventually, though, as happens with a lot of medications, the steroids lost their effectiveness. Garrett's body became dependent on them. The eczema never went away and just kept getting worse no matter what he put on. At the same time, if I didn't use it, the actor explained, it was like waking up a beast. Eventually, he realized he needed a different approach, so he started looking into what he ate, his lifestyle, what he was exposed to, what he had in his home. He was looking for the cause of his eczema, rather than just trying to tamp down the symptoms that were making life miserable. As I began to dive into that process, Garrett noted, I had to get off the steroids. And getting off those steroids, that process was terrible. What happens is you get off them. It's like a synthetic hormone. So you're supplying your body with these things that it otherwise isn't creating because it's like you got a crutch. It was like a firestorm on my skin when I got off, Garrett shared. My skin became super inflamed. And when I say super, if you would have seen me during this process, and this was years, if you would have seen me, you would have immediately thought, poor guy, what's going on? He doesn't look well. His eyes were swollen shut, his skin was on fire, and he eventually realized, dealing with topical steroid withdrawal or TSW. If you look up online, people are out there looking like burn victims trying to get off these, he shared. Like peeling layers on layers of skin. You look frightening, it looks terrible, and it feels worse. And no one warned him about it. As Garrett put it, I had no idea. I was just a kid just doing what the doctor says. So I was on steroids all throughout General Hospital that was keeping it at bay. Towards the tail end of my run on GH, I started to try to get off them, and that ended up being a 10-year process. Back in 2009, Lexi Ainsworth and Garrett played the sibling duo of Christina and Michael. While dealing with the crippling withdrawal, he started painstakingly eliminating things from his diet to figure out what worked and what didn't for his body. Everyone is different, and what causes one person to react may not be the same as another. I have to be super disciplined with what I expose my body to, he explained now. What's cool is I became incredibly educated and incredibly informed as far as nutrition, as far as environmental factors, as far as products. I spent countless hours, 'cause I was determined. I was like, I'm not going to stay on this drug, and I'm not going to accept that this is just how I wake up and how I feel, which was terrible. I couldn't function. And worse, he was still actively trying to pursue an acting career, but couldn't even show up to auditions without looking terrifying. I remember I read for Spider-Man, and my eyes were almost swollen shut. I was red in the face, peeling. And it didn't end with his face. That's just what folks saw when he went out and about and tried keeping up with acting. I'm a pretty happy dude, Garrett confessed, but during those times, that was the first time, one of the only times I thought to myself, you know what? I can relate to people who feel like they might just want to end it. Because it's like, at what point do I get relief? At what point do I find an answer to this state? These days, he's beaten the tiesto and keeps the eczema under control by watching what he eats. But to reach the point he did is so painful and difficult. We're just glad that Garrett's been recovering and can hopefully put that nightmare behind him for good as he lives his life to the fullest now. General Hospital spoilers and updates for the week of Monday, April 14 to Friday, April 18 tease risky decisions, witch hunts, and shocking news. Kai Taylor makes a risky decision. Laura Collins is subjected to a modern-day witch hunt, and Sonny Corinthos delivers shocking news. Trina Robinson has been quite concerned with the experimental operation that Drew Kane offered Kai and paying for the whole thing. Trina went to her mother, Portia Robinson, and expressed her concerns, and Portia checked everything out. Trina trusts that her mother can give a good opinion as well. READMORE. Find out what happened on the last episode of GH. After checking out the experimental procedure thoroughly, Portia is in her office at GH as she says she cannot in good conscience recommend this surgery. Then, Trina is seen sitting having lunch with Kai, and he's bound and determined to play football again. He tells her he's going to have the surgery, and Trina looks very worried. The atmosphere in the courthouse is like the Salem witch hunts of the 1700s as Congressman Drew and Councilman Ezra Boyle seem to have assembled a hearing. It's likely a press conference as well, as Boyle pontificates and Drew looks self-righteous and smug as usual. Boyle accuses Laura publicly, saying that her allegiance should be to the people of Port Charles and not the local crime boss. Curtis Ashford and Jordan Ashford are both there and they look upset, as does Port Charles Police Commissioner Anna Devane. Boyle is referring to Sonny, of course, and he and Drew want the Esplanade on Pier 55, where Corinthos Coffee is, and Jen Sidwell is in on it too. Elsewhere, Sonny is with Diane Miller when Marco Rios shows up at the door. Diane wheels around looking shocked when Sonny says to Marco, "Jen Sidwell, he's your dad, right?" It's understandable that Diane would be shocked by Sonny's comment, because Sidwell is not to be trusted, and Diane knows Jen's put Lucky Spencer's life in danger in Somalia. Diane and Alexis Davis just hired Marco on at their law firm as a junior partner, feeling the need to expand their practice just a little bit with an extra lawyer. Obviously, even though Diane and Alexis support Sonny and Diane frequently represents him if there are court issues, Sidwell is a whole another story. Sonny suspects he bombed his penthouse. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with GH right now. General Hospital spoilers tease that the character of Michael Corinthos has become a lightning rod in his on-screen absence. Last played by Chad Duell from 2010 until 2025, Michael was last seen in January. Michael Corinthos is a legacy character. His parents are Carly Spencer and Sonny Corinthos. Late last year, Duell announced that he was leaving the ABC soap. Right before that, Michael learned he is the father of Sasha Gilmore's baby after a one-night stand. Jason Morgan is pretending to be the baby's father. The one-nightery was a response to Michael discovering that his wife Willow Quartermain was sleeping with Drew Kane. Several times, Robert Adamson was cast as a temporary replacement when Duell was unavailable. Chad Duell left GH after several changes in his life, including becoming a first-time father and losing his dad. He and the show left his possible return somewhat vague, but with the character being in more than one front-burner plot, many fans want to see the show recast Michael. Given that Adamson has capably filled in for Duell in the past, some want to see him return as Michael full-time. Apparently so does Adamson. Amid all the chatter about a possible recast of Michael, Adamson tweeted his feelings about the situation. "Thanks for having me in to read for the recast of Michael. Covered the role not once, not twice, but 3 times without notice or time to physically prepare. But I don't even get an opportunity to read." Adamson has since deleted the tweet, but not before his words ignited the rumor mill. Does his tweet prove that the show is recasting Michael Corinthos? Some fans have called for Drew Garrett, who was Michael before Duell, to resume the role. Curiously, Garrett was recently on Maurice Benard's podcast, State of Mind. Coincidence? You tell us, GH fans. Do you want to recast Michael, and who do you want in the role? General Hospital spoilers reveal a preview clip has been released for Monday, April 14, 2025. It shows Rick Lansing warning Ava Jerome, as she's clearly on a path to a major mistake. Meanwhile, Molly Lansing Davis continues to be deceived by her own sister as Trina Robinson grills Portia Robinson. Plus, Willow Tate Corinthos fears Carly Spencer is right. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in today's episode of the ABC soap opera. Ava ended up finding out that Christina Corinthos Davis was responsible for Rick and Elizabeth Liz Baldwin crash. Ava tried to blackmail Alexis Davis. However, what she doesn't know that Diane Miller has advised Alexis to have her troubled daughter committed. Ava thinks that she's about to get a big payday. However, Rick warns her that the deal isn't done yet. READAMORE. Find out what happened on the last episode of GH. Speaking of Christina, she will continue reconnecting with Molly. Even though Christina is Molly's support system right now, she's also the one who caused the accident. Molly thinks that she has a real relationship with Christina. So once she learns the truth, it will be back to a war between the siblings. There is also the Alexis factor. Fans watched how Alexis seemed to keep taking Christina's side in the egg donor/surrogacy storyline. So if Alexis keeps Christina's actions a secret as well as why she's being committed, it could strain Molly's relationship with her mother once again. General Hospital spoilers for today's episode reveal that Trina will question her mother. Trina will want to know if Portia found out some information about the miracle surgery that Drew Kane offered to get for Kai Taylor. Trina will also ask her mother if the surgery is really safe. Although Portia is confident that the procedure is a great option for Kai, Trina might continue to have doubts. Fans will also see Sonny question the mayor. The mob boss asks Laura if someone is pressuring her to come after him. Also, Carly Spencer panics to Jack Brennan that she just might have pushed Willow and the kids even closer to Drew. Meanwhile, Willow frets to Nina Reeves about possibly losing her children. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on ABC to find out what happens next. General Hospital spoilers and rumors tease from dawn of day to dawn of Drew. Could Drew Kane really be a not-so-dead Shiloh Archer? With the hold he seems to have over Willow Corinthos and the drastic changes in Drew, it really gives one something to consider. A recent event shows one drastic change between old Drew and new Drew extremely well. The controversy over the Quartermain crypt. When Drew was rescued from Cassadine Island and Jason Morgan disappeared under rubble, presumed dead, that was the real Drew. He supported Carly Spencer and went with her to Florida, where they were going to move her adoptive mother's grave, and he helped her fight the powers that were there. That was when he and Carly's romance began, and that was real Drew until a couple of years later, when he took the heat for Carly's insider trading. He then was put into Pentonville prison for a period of time. So what could have really happened to Shiloh is a huge question since everyone saw him in a body bag at GH. After being speared by Sam McCall, she was defending Jason on the Haunted Star, where Shiloh had a grappling hook ready to kill him. Sam shot him with a spear gun, however, When Drew's next trip to Cassadine Island took place, we saw that could have been survivable. Britt Westburn accidentally speared her mother. And even though one may not draw a connection between Victor Cassadine and Shiloh, it's quite possible he considered Shiloh useful. As for his looking like Drew, he could have either given him plastic surgery to look like Drew, or it's a mask a la Cesar Faison. It seems really a strange coincidence that in Pentonville prison, once Cyrus Renal was there, he had a conversion, which we now know turned him into a cult leader. And later, an angel of death in a twisted way to heal people who he deemed unhealable. He took out several people, including Sam, before Jocelyn Jacks took him out. We know also that Shiloh had promoted his cult Dawn of Day because the book was in the prison library. There was a scene where it was shown on a book cart. Why would Drew, who was in the prison at the same time as Cyrus, bother to save the life of someone who'd caused so much destruction? And why would Cyrus intervene for him? It seems like Cyrus may have been in cahoots with Shiloh way back when, and in Pentonville there was a switch. But now, if Shiloh is Drew, where's the real Drew? He may have just taken things one step too far. Their last encounter with Carly was Drew's last straw, and now he's taking drastic action to protect his so-called family on the April 14, 2025 episode of General Hospital. After Friday's encounter ended with Carly almost slapping Willow, it left her worried she's more like her late twin sister than she thought. Willow worried she was being cruel to Michael's family, but her knight in shining armor, Drew, was quick to jump to her defense. But things escalated rather quickly when Drew whacked out documents he had drawn up, revealing he thought it was time to protect their family. The documents would make Drew the guardian of Wiley and Amelia if anything happened to Willow, and make Willow the guardian of Scout if something were to happen to Drew. And the worst part was, Willow didn't think twice before signing. This could prevent Carly from acting on her threat to take Wiley from Willow, and will definitely anger every person on Michael's side. Meanwhile, a parent genuinely looking out for their child is Alexis, who is keeping the paperwork to commit Christina at close range. She doesn't want to commit Christina, but it may be the only way to save her from prison time if the truth comes out about what Christina did to cause Rick and Elizabeth's accident. But now, Alexis may be having second thoughts after her night with Christina and Molly. Things went so well, in fact, that Christina admitted that with the help of her mother, reuniting with her sister and therapy, she's doing much better than she was before. But that may all come crashing down if Alexis has to take action and commit her daughter. On the next GH, Chase and Lois have a heart-to-heart and Brooklyn lays out her plan. Also, Elizabeth gets a warm homecoming. In addition to Chase and Lois having a heart-to-heart, General Hospital spoilers for Tuesday, April 15, 2025, focus on Brooklyn laying out her plan and Alexis wrestling with her conscience. Brooklyn, Chase, and Lois are keeping secrets. 1. Brooklyn got pregnant over 20 years ago. 2. She gave the baby up for adoption. And 3. Dante is the father of said baby. Meanwhile, Lois is keeping the biggest one of them all. Gio is Brooklyn and Dante's grown-up son. When will these secrets see the light of day? It feels like the time is coming soon. Things continue to escalate this week when Lois and Chase have a heart-to-heart. Lois is finally back in town after she and Brooklyn clashed, and she returned to Bensonhurst for some suddenly needed space. Will Lois let the Gio secret slip when chatting with Chase? Also, look for Brooklyn to lay out her plan, presumably to tell Dante the truth. Meanwhile, it shouldn't be a shock to find out that Alexis wrestles with her conscience. She made a big decision that will have serious ramifications and may even endanger her relationship with her daughters. Thanks to Ava, she knows that Christina tried to kill Ava, and instead, her actions resulted in Rick and Elizabeth getting hurt. To prevent her daughter from going to jail, she's taking the advice of her lawyer. Diane suggested having Christina committed, which is the last thing Alexis wants to do. but she has to do what she has to do. It's time for Elizabeth to check out of the hospital and start healing at home. Good thing for her that Elizabeth gets a warm homecoming. We're guessing Lucky and Aiden will make the transition easy, relaxing, and loving. Expect Trina to seek out Ava. Right now, Kai and his impending surgery are on her mind. Maybe she turns to Ava for help figuring out why she worries about him going under the knife. Or maybe there's another reason why she needs Ava's help. Does Trina learn that her mom is in trouble and it all has to do with Drew? She may need Ava's advice to deal with pesky problems like Congressman Cutthroat. Daniel Goddard was shocked by the overwhelming fan response at his joining the show, and was even more surprised that they made a role just for him. We now know most of what Jocelyn's first WSB assignment is on General Hospital. Her handler, Vaughn, explained that she needed to infiltrate an environmental physics class at PCU and become a research assistant for Professor Dalton. What the teacher is up to has yet to be revealed, but it has to be something major if the Bureau is involved. Former The Young and the Restless star Daniel Goddard has been tapped to play Dalton, and he and his fans are thrilled. Goddard and the official GH Instagram page shared a video in which he was walking through some familiar hallways and exited the building, revealing the large General Hospital sign on the side. It was captioned, 1,973 days later, #CBS, #YR, #Kane, greater than #ABC, #GH, #Dalton. He received several congratulatory responses from former Y and R co-stars, as well as GH stars Finola Hughes and Chris McKenna, who responded, "Welcome," and "Hey, buddy," "Welcome," respectively. The actor also explained to TV Insider that he had auditioned for the role of Jack, but didn't get it. However, the show liked him so much that they created the role of Dalton for him and offered him the part. "I was just gobsmacked by it," he enthusiastically remarked, adding it wasn't a recast. "It was a new character, and I was so blown away." Goddard, who formerly played twins Kane and Caleb on Y and R, shared another video on Instagram, writing, "Happy Sunday. It's Professor Dalton here, wanting you to know how much I love and appreciate you, and making sure that you will be attending at General Hospital this Tuesday, April 15th, because I will be taking roll call." In the video, he wanted to let his fans know that he was very thankful to get the part, and explained that the incredible amount of fan messages he received about getting the part was unbelievable. "I'm blown away, but you know what?" he said, continuing, "You guys have always been there for me from day one, and you never let me down, and I will never let you down, just to know that you are my ride and dies, and this is a two-way street." He finished by reiterating that Dalton's first appearance would be on April 15, and viewers needed to show up, because I will be taking roll calls. Daytime isn't the only achievement Stephen A. Smith may have to add to his long list of accolades. The General Hospital star recently revealed he's considering a 2028 presidential run. After being a lifelong fan of GH, Smith made his debut on the soap in 2007 as a television reporter during the Metro Court hostage crisis. In 2016, Smith landed the recurring role of Brick and has appeared in 44 episodes. Now, the ESPN commentator who doubles as a soap star is getting serious about the next phase of his career, a 2028 presidential run. During an interview on ABC News this week, Smith admitted he's never desired to be a politician, yet he already has a lot of backers. "I have no choice because I've had elected officials, and I'm not going to give their names, elected officials coming up to me," Smith revealed. "I've had folks who are pundits come up to me. I've had folks that got a lot of money, billionaires and others that have talked to me about exploratory committees and things of that nature." Smith went on to reveal he's had many people, including his pastor, support a presidential bid, telling him, "You don't know what God has planned for you." At least show the respect to the people who believe in you, who respect you, who believe that you can make a difference in this country. To leave the door open for any possibilities, some to 3 years down the line. Smith concluded by announcing, "And that's what I've decided to do." Until a presidential run is official, Smith's GH character will be keeping him plenty busy. Brick recently popped back into Port Charles to help Sonny find an out-of-state cardiologist for his heart condition and do some digging into the person who planted the bomb in his penthouse. When he's not acting as one of Sonny's right-hand men, Brick can often be seen romancing Jordan. But that recently came to a shattering end when Jordan had to break it to her suitor that she was no-seeing Isaiah, to which Brick revealed he knew exactly what Isaiah's family was involved with after looking into the doctor on his boss's behalf. This week on GH, Kai goes after what he wants despite the risks. Laura's forced to defend her allegiance to Sonny, and Marco's link to Sidwell is outed to his new boss. The General Hospital Spoilers video preview for the week of April 14, 2025 is here. Find out what explosive situations will happen this week in Port Charles. Portia announces that she cannot in good conscience recommend this surgery. Is this how she really feels after thorough research, or is this about the Drew connection? Trina will undoubtedly have thoughts when Kay makes a decision. His tunnel vision sees him back on that football field, so he's all in. "I'm going to have the surgery," he emphatically states. Why is Drew funding the surgery? Is it out of the goodness of the heart he claims to have? Meanwhile, Laura faces heat for her friendship with Sonny Corinthos. At the heart of this matter is the location of the esplanade that is in the works. Your allegiance should be to the people of Port Charles, not to the local crime boss, says Councilman Ezra Boyle as he grandstands in front of a gathering of individuals that include Drew, Curtis, Jordan, and Anna. Is this where Jordan puts her plan into action and publicly goes against Laura so she can go undercover to work for Sidwell? Speaking of Sidwell, Sonny invokes his name and outs Marco's identity to Diane, who just so happens to be Marco's new boss. "Jen Sidwell," Sonny begins. "That's your father, right?" How will Marco respond? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.